the Swiss stages, where nearly 120 different teams entered into the Swiss stage, before we then narrowed it down to the top 16. Last week, we then... Dread, tell me, what's up for grabs today?
Yeah, just like the other cycles in here for the top 8. If you get that 100 of that...
Look at that. APAC has finished up their 3rd cycle, and it is close between those top 3 as Haibu, KZ, and DRG merely 30 points away. Biggest factor here. Dread, 8 of those people have disappeared. Is there any of those 8 that stand out and you're quite surprised about? It starts with stage 1. We're very familiar with a ranked cash out. Finish your cash out, top 2 advances to the next round. You'll have to do that twice, and that same mentality of the promotion. Do your cash out, go into the final round, best of 1, then advance to the finale. We will rinse and repeat for a 2nd time, we rinse and repeat for a 3rd time before we touch on the finale. The finale, where all 4 teams have qualified, will have 1 cash out to go. The top 2 will then go and fight for the best of 3. While talking about really important, how about we introduce our first 4 teams: Nightmare, Pulsar, Kansas City Pioneers, and Defy.
I mean, Bernal, Dread, I mean, what are you thinking here? We do see a lot of double heavy coming out early on, but we do see HML coming out from Defy.
Yeah, I think we're probably still going to be seeing a lot of double heavies today. I don't think that's going to change too much. Maybe a little bit more mediums, but Defy was running that a lot in the top 16 as well. So
yeah, I mean, I know they have what it takes. That being said, we do see a lock bolt plus that healing emitter from Spawns as well. So we'll have to see how they use that. I do love the healing emitter, but on this map, lock bolt could be pretty interesting. I think it has some great synergy with that KS, to be said, but we're going to see some early shots going off, holding up that mesh. Spawn's taking a lot of damage, down to half HP, but Llama now going to be taking a lot of damage with that sledge. Finds that winch as well, and that's going to be Boom taken down. We do see Nomad taking a lot of damage from that KS. It only takes 2 shots to take him out. That's going to be Death Knocks down, and my bad.
Yeah, huge explosive fight already for KCP here. Excuse me, Pulsar. They're just trying to hunt down Nomad here. Last one on Defy, taking a little bit of damage from that KS. He is going to make it out there. Pulsar is just going to opt to move this box and try to get that plug going there. And it looks like on the other side of the map, KCP taking a lot of damage here and actually wiping. And that's going to be Nightmare taking the first fight on the other side of the map. And maybe a little bit of a stagger coming out here, Sensoyo, as Pulsar plugged that box pretty quick.
Yeah, Pulsar does get that plug quickly, and that's fantastic for them. As a sledge player, you want to have control of the box. You want to be able to drop it down and collapse right on top of it. You're basically getting guaranteed value out of that right click from that sledge, but we'll have to see how Defy reset and come into this offense right here, but they have a little bit of ground to take over. Spawn's going to be looking for those early KS shots to kind of keep them away, and great movement from the heal emitter. You can see how much goo barricades they're setting up. They're just locking down this area, but Calf taking a little bit of damage, have to find that reset as Boom pushes in.
Yeah, that jump pad put in a lot of work. We didn't see a lot of jump pads in the top 16, but now that we're seeing a little bit more medium gameplay again, they can really get up there on that height. And Pulsar, I kind of like the trigger discipline from Llama there to not manipulate the cash box immediately off the beginning, kind of holding onto that winch and just kind of playing that drop. And here we go, we got Gateway back up onto the roof there, trying to chase down Death Knocks there. He's just barely getting away from that sledge, but he's taking so much damage. How is he still alive? The goo barely keeping him up. He's going to turn on Boom and take Boom out instead, but Death Knocks gets turned on by Spawns there. Now Nomad, last one alive, and he's just going to go for the steal.
Yeah, I mean, he just went for the steal. He went for the Hail Mary. Not entirely sure. He wanted maybe $1,000 to get that flip, but ultimately, I love how Llama used that goo barrel to lock down Boom and just hit him with the right click of that sledgehammer. That's what he's known for. Do them. He doesn't even need the winch.
Yeah,
but here we go, swapping sides.
Yep, Nightmare trying to hold on to their box here. KCP pushing in. And the swap actually does go through, so Nightmare, I think, is just going to kind of play for a retake here. That lock bolt, Lasagna just shooting it out there. We do have the BFR on the side of Lasagna there, which is another interesting change from top 16 there. BFR with the winch. RPG not quite connecting there. Mesh Shield coming out with a little bit of a staircase fight here. Varian taking lots of damage. That BFR and the KS, huge burst damage that can connect here. Everybody on the side of KCP is getting really low. Busy's actually going to end up going down to Varian there. Lasagna ends up following him. Now it's only Stu up left alive. He does manage to take out Apollo, though. But he's going to immediately get fibbed back up to T-Mills, and then T-Mills is going to get traded out.
Yeah, I mean, we do see that BFR come into play because of that buff. Due to this nerf of the KS, I feel like people are just opting for one KS, one BFR as well. You just have so much burst damage like that double KS composition had before, but at least now you have that headshot multiplier with that BFR as well. But it's going to be Kansas City Pioneers taking that first box alongside Pulsar. And we're going to move over to this amphitheater with an early TP with Defy, getting this rotation, trying to get this plug early on because they know an offensive push from a sledgehammer can prove difficult. They really love their defense over on the side of Pulsar.
Yeah, they're definitely going to want to keep that momentum going.
It's going to be a double?
It might be a double here. I don't know if they're going to change direction. I think they're trying to beat him to this. The first person that's going to get this plug is going to have a huge advantage in this fight because I don't know if the other team's going to want to go for that double jeopardy, but are they going to be able to beat him? I don't know. We do have the zip line on the side of KCP. They're trying to get up to the roof here. And both these boxes are still here, but it actually gets thrown away. KCP does beat them to the box and get that plug, Soil.
Yeah, and this is going to cause a lot of chaos in this match right now. With this plug and with this box completely separated, Lasagna's going to be able to find a pick right on top of Varian, takes him out with a little bit of an elbow. But that being said, we do have Kansas City Pioneers in control of this cash out. Nightmare trying to make a little bit of ground work towards this. They do hop on and try and bait it, but the building's collapsing all around them. They have the cover now. The building's providing a shield for them.
Yeah, so that steal is actually going to go through, but there's still plenty of time on this box for KCP to play for this retake here. Lasagna's going to back out outside. He's going to reload this RPG here. Playing down below. Actually gets peeked by two members of Nightmare. Lasagna taking a big RPG hit, but that BFR doing so much damage. He's going to have to back up a little bit. Varian ends up going down. Actually, Stu with the LH1 doing so much burst damage as well. He's going to get a double kill on the T-Mills there. Now it's only Apollo left alive on KCP. He's just going to go ahead and push in there, get the quick wipe, because they still got plenty of time. They could go for either of these boxes here, but we still have Defy on this box in Soyo too.
Yeah, I mean, Defy's here to cause some chaos. They're trying to make their way in, but Defnox does get taken out by Stu-J. He's on an absolute rampage, but to shut that down, Nomad is right there. A winch gets blocked on the side of Defy, but that BFR finds that headshot on that light, takes him out. Down goes Nomad, and now it's gonna be Lasagna and Busy holding hands right now in that dome shield with Boom just trying to find this res, trying to find some ground, get some beautiful shots on top of Busy, but he's not gonna be able to find it. Boom gets taken down, and down goes Defy on this box.
Yeah, Nightmare able to fend off two separate teams there to hold on to that box, and now KCP is back up and alive. They're going to have to be pushing Pulsar here, who is holding off the roof, taking a little bit of damage, but he does have that healing emitter up, so he can take a little bit of that poke there. Look at Llama just kind of lurking right on top of that box there, using the barricade to get back up to the roof. Lockbolt ready to go. He does have those goo grenades that he was using earlier, and he is ready to just pounce on anybody who's going to go for the steal here.
Yeah, and this is exactly where Pulsar, we talked about it earlier, this is what they want to see. They want to be able to drop on this cash out, but we do see some big damage on top of Apollo. He does get taken out by Cap from that XP54, but that being said, Varian trying to find a little bit of damage on top of Spawns, does take him out, and that's going to bring things into a 2v1 situation. Varian's not going to have a lot of room to find this ground, but does get taken out by that sledge on the side of Llama, and I mean, there's one person you don't want to see holding that sledgehammer, it's Llama.
Yeah, that is something I missed seeing there. Just a surprise jump scare Llama coming through the wall there, breaking down that drywall and bonking on the head with that big old sledgehammer. We have a little bit of a brawl over this box here from Defy and Nightmare. Defy is actually going to go down there. They were almost able to take out Busy, but it just barely made it out of there with about 1 bar of HP. And man, it's just so much burst damage, Soya, with the BFR and the KS on that team.
I mean, the BFR, we've seen some beautiful headshots come out early on, and I mean, they're even running winch with it, and that tried and true. Once you get that winch, you can basically get a guaranteed headshot on top of a light, on top of a medium, on top of a heavy, and that's going to do so much opening damage. Combo that with a KS, and you're likely killing, if not very close to it. But we're going to take a look over here on Vault 6 with Pulsar and KCP trying to get a little bit of motion over to B. We're going to see how this goes down because I'm pretty sure KCP needs this plug desperately.
Yeah, Pulsar's in
holding
such a
out.
good spot right now too, just to kind of like guard this box here. And that's exactly what they're doing. And the huge winch coming through. Is the sledgehammer going to connect? One does,
Did
and
you
there comes
see
the
that?
second swing through. And then Varian goes down.
Yeah, I mean, Llama got the winch, threw the goo on the ground, blocked him out, and hit him with the right click. I mean, this man is just ready for it. He uses those barricades to block his opponents, uses that goo. Yeah, how do you
It's like
stop
a
this guy?
fighting
But
game.
now
He's
look
got
at
the
this.
combos down.
And Defy and Pulsar are walking hand in hand. Pulsar wants this doubled. Defy needs it doubled. We're going to see how this goes. I mean, look at them. They're walking hand in hand.
Yeah, and Pulsar is just kind of there to dictate what's going on. I mean, they're in such a good spot. They have such a huge lead over Nightmare as well, too. So we're going to see what goes down here. We're coming up about on the about 20th second mark on this box here. Let's see who's going to end up taking it. But Nightmare, they need to hold on to this. They got every team in the lobby on this one.
I mean, a dome goes down. Llama wants to fight in this next round. They want to kick out Nightmare, but Nightmare only has Stu J last up, but here comes KCP trying to take their opportunity right now. Llama with that sledge may try and stop them. He does get taken out. Llama dropped, but Boom finds a big pick with that C4. Finds two as well. And that could be KCP's game right here. We're going to get this last second steal. Trying to get the damage on top of that, on top of Boom, but down goes Defy, and it looks like Nightmare is going to be taking this one alongside Pulsar.
Wow, that was such a huge C4 RPG at the end there, too. So close. Boom almost making a huge play there, but not quite able to get down the rest of the lobby there. And wow, I mean, what do you think of that one, Ivory?
Absolutely love how that game unfolded. I think the biggest pointer, and I think you pointed out, MTMR, Nightmare playing with a BFR after the buff that came with it, and that just allowed them to play this very wide style of game that was incredible because you had that trust with Busy to go in aggressively. Then Lasagna can just play on the outside, Stooge can play on the outside, and providing cover in that direction. So yes, they were isolating one-on-one fights, they were going in one at a time, but it never felt like it. And that's why we saw Nightmare win half their fights with ease. And then Pulsar, again, we're talking about the Sledge Kings. They're playing his peekaboo strats. Play inside a building, you want to come up, peekaboo! I am here to attack. Sansoyo, it is such a funny play style, but it works. It clearly works for Pulsar.
I mean, and one of my favorite moments, I think during top 16 was when Llama Winston Normalized dropped the barricade right behind him, and Normalized turned to run away from the sledge, but he had nowhere to go, and Llama